Though I dearly love the tech news, I choose to give it to you freely. Never forget that. Now you owe me. I will come calling. The European Union has finally officially passed its Digital Markets Act and Digital Services Act into law, which could force big changes on big tech companies when it comes to basically everything from social platform moderation to sideloading apps. The two acts, which address slightly different things and together are called the Digital Services Act package, continues the EU's tradition of acting like big tech's mom and actually forcing them to be nice. The US is the dad, and to be honest, he's kind of absent. The DSA aims to make platforms more responsible for illegal or misleading conduct by mandating timely takedowns, safety checks, and public transparency, while the DMA targets anti-competitive content. Platforms will no longer be allowed to rank their own products higher in search results, prevent users from installing third-party app stores and uninstalling preloading apps, or use personal data for advertising without explicit user consent. Wow, it's like cool. It's like Europe just fixed the whole internet, provided that these regulations can actually be enforced in a practical and fair manner, which is not exactly guaranteed with massive legislation like this. But hey, Apple, Google, and the rest will probably have to spend a lot of money trying to find loopholes around this, so at the very least, it will hurt them a little bit. I just want them to feel some pain. Speaking of Apple, the company announced a new lockdown mode for iPhones, iPads, and Macs meant to be a last resort measure to fend off serious cyber attacks. It's like locking yourself in a digital panic room. But what if they're in the house? When it rolls out this fall, lockdown mode will strictly limit a device's capabilities, blocking most message attachments and FaceTime calls, disabling more complex web features, and disabling wired connections when the device is locked. It's designed to help users who may face targeted malware developed by professional companies and employed by state-sponsored hackers. All things that would be impossible to accomplish if Apple let Fortnite back in the App Store. That game is basically all hackers anyway. Obi-Wan and Harley Quinn in the same game? Impossible. And right after finally doing something about spam comments, YouTube had to go and do something stupid again to even it out. The platform's auto moderation systems have classified some videos as for kids, reversing their creator's decision to intentionally designate the videos as not for kids. Chris Straub, the creator of horror series Local 58 TV, uploaded a video in 2018 intended as a horror parody of a children's cartoon. The video includes text that says, "made for children," so it's understandable that YouTube's AI could get confused. But it's not understandable how it could then block Straub from reversing the inaccurate "for kids" label. The mistake was eventually corrected after Straub tweeted a lot and went through the appeal process, but the same thing also happened to the YouTube channel Your Movie Sucks. The crazy thing is that YouTube support didn't even seem to think it was weird to just decide for creators whether their content is for kids or not. We're pretty sure it's for kids. Subscribe to Floatplane. Now it's time for Quick Bits, brought to you by Vultr, provider of high-performance cloud servers, bare metal storage, and managed Kubernetes. You can easily deploy your preferred OS through 12 pre-selected options and even bring your own ISO. And with 25 server locations worldwide, you'll enjoy low latency wherever your users are. Plus, the new Vultr Kubernetes engine takes the hard work on for you so you can operate and scale with confidence. Try Vultr today and receive an exclusive 30-day, $150 code for new signups at the link below. Quick bits aren't meant to scare you, but they do happen pretty fast, so stay on your toes. Quick bits. Yet another PC hardware leak has seemingly confirmed that Intel's upcoming Raptor Lake-S desktop platform will support DDR4, and there was much rejoicing. But the leak also made it look like M.2 SSDs will only be able to connect through 4 PCIe 4.0 lanes instead of the 16 available PCIe 5.0 lanes, which would mean Raptor Lake systems couldn't make use of the full speed afforded by PCIe 5.0 SSDs with the M.2 form factor. And that would be dumb. But this is just a leak, so there may be time for Intel to patch it before Raptor Lake launches this fall. I was mixing metaphors there. It was just, can you patch it? Your spacesuit and sleep. Ubisoft announced that 15 games would lose online services this week, but not if Ubisoft has anything to say about it. What? Ubisoft Mains, the studio behind Anno 2070, one of the affected games, announced they would try to see whether the game's infrastructure could be migrated to a more modern system and maintain access, although they can't guarantee it'll work. It's all up to Ubisoft. An amended Japanese law has just gone into effect that will cause people convicted of posting online insults to face fines of up to 300,000 yen, or about 2,200 US dollars, or up to a year in prison. Seems a bit harsh here in the West, but the law will apparently be reviewed in 3 years to see whether it has a negative impact on freedom of expression. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say whoever came up with that idea is a numpty. Lock me up. Also a dumb idea, wireless carriers partnering with a company called Glance, which will launch a lock screen platform on Android phones. Instead of showing useful things, like say the time or an important notification, Glance will immediately grab your attention by serving live events, social video, and even games as soon as you press your phone's power button. Because any moment you're not consuming content is a moment you're spending on something way worse, like having an introspective thought. Bad. And here's some uplifting news. Researchers firing up the Large Hadron Collider for the first time in 3 years have discovered 3 new exotic particles, a new type of pentaquark, and a pair of tetraquarks. They are cute. It's not clear what the new type is, but I think there's a sore need of some fire/psychic options. Would you look at the time? It's time for me to tell you to come back on Friday for more tech news, at which time I expect full repayment of your debt. Use your time wisely.